We're gonna have to yell. Can everybody hear me? No. All the people aren't talking? Hey, Byron. Boys, you're gonna throw everybody. This is kind of, in a lot of ways, this is great because the chit chat can't happen as much. Although we're gonna have to yell to hear, so everybody hear us. This is absolutely incredible, isn't it? Yeah. You're all 6 feet apart. What a country we got here. What a deal. But this is what we got. So we're trying to make the best of it and try to keep the noise down. The less noise, the less chatter, the quicker Sean gets to put on his deal here. So, but I guess welcome to Oshkosh Convention Center. Looks like we got a full house, Sean.
We did good this year.
Every chair except for this one. Who doesn't want to sit here? All right. Anybody that talks too much is going to sit up here. Just like in classroom. Sister Mary Ann, my favorite. But anyway, thanks for coming. I just want to say just a couple things real quick. Thank you all for hanging in there for last year. That people have been here for the last year, or many have been here for years and years and years. But incredible stuff we just went through. And it seems to be, we seem to be on the other side of it, but we have changed. The world has changed already for better or for worse. It's changed, so we got to change with it. Our industries continue to change as well, and those of you who decide that you're going to be good at this are going to do really well, and the folks that decide that they're just going to be okay and just get by aren't going to do quite so good. So the regulations are going to continue to get tighter and tighter, and make sure that everybody in this room does what they're supposed to be doing, keep safe. It's like I said, that not just the driver situations, the people that operate the vehicles is going to continue to change. The vehicles are changing, as you know, and probably by the time some of us are dead and gone, the whole thing would be completely different. So I mean, that's just the way it is. And many of you that are like me, old enough to remember how it was 30, 40 years ago, you can't even hardly believe that we're sitting here driving the kind of vehicles we're driving, regulated the certain ways that we're regulated, and sitting 6 feet apart in a room, for gosh sakes, okay? But this is our new reality, so we need to be good at it. We got to be better than everybody else at it, and then we'll be successful as a company. So our company itself, Alan, are you going to talk about some of that stuff? Probably, Alan. I don't want to say too much, but anyway, I'll let Alan. He likes to talk.
He's over there going, look.
He stayed in last night so he could talk this morning, so his voice would be good. But anyway, let's make this. These things are just necessary. It's necessary for us to get together. It's necessary for us to learn what's new, and it's necessary for us to do the best we can for ourselves and our families and our company. So, thanks for coming. We'll how long we have here today? You think?
I'll try to wrap it up around 10.
Around 10. And we got food?
There's breakfast buffet to follow.
It's buffet. Okay. So
late it take as much as you want.
There's a 10 and a 9:30.
Okay. So anyway, I imagine there's some rules along with that whole buffet thing too. So just everybody be respectful of this whole thing we're in. So thank you very much for all you do. We got a good year coming. Sorry. No. Sorry about that. Okay. Thanks everybody.
You think we talk about this before we do it?
I don't think I prepared something.
Come on over.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here again. So how are we doing? We're doing a lot better first quarter this year. We survived COVID last year like everybody else, but freight's good. Rates are going up. I'm tentatively saying we're going to do a profit sharing in May. So it's really come around. Equipment-wise, we've ordered some stuff. but parts shortages and stuff, everything's out until next March. So we've ordered some trailers and we've ordered some day cabs, but they really haven't even put us in a list yet. They said about September. Yeah, we'll call you September, see how many parts we have. So there's new stuff coming, just not sure when. If we find some late model used stuff, we'll be looking for it, but that market's dried up too. You guys are doing a good job. Thank you. We're having a really good first quarter, so we need to keep taking care of our customers and just keep doing good. So that's all I had. Just keep her going. Sean, it's all yours.
Thanks, Ron and Al. All right, thanks for coming, everybody. The reason why we are here, if you guys needed a quick reminder, this one's pretty fresh, I would say. Just a few days ago, I'm sure this went viral, many people saw this went nationwide. So this is why we have these things. This is what you guys got to drive through every year, every winter, and sometimes in the spring. Get another look at. Think they're going a little fast?
No.
Just a little?
Go faster than they're at.
They got to stop though.
All right, so some of the things we're going to cover here today. Since it's been a year, we're going to catch up a little bit. You know, we didn't have the fall meeting because of our good friend COVID. So we'll catch up recruiting, some of the openings we have, how that's going, referral bonus. Hours of service changes, there were a lot of changes that came into place in the fall of last year. So I've been getting questions on that. So I think it's good to kind of refresh our minds with what changes went into place. Also, the road inspection is coming up in May. They bumped it up a month. Actually, they bumped it up last year a month, so it wouldn't be so hot. There are several safety checks throughout the spring and through late summer. So I'll get you guys all the dates and the info on those and what they're going to focus on. Look at our own accidents and injuries from our own company. Look at how our CSA is doing, and we'll compare from last year at this point. And then our housekeeping is just what we have to cover every year: trailers, securing loads, paperwork, all that good stuff. And those of you that have been with the company for long enough know that we used to have a driver manual. And if these red binders look familiar, this is what we had you guys keep in your truck. I don't have them all for everybody here. I would like the road drivers that are here today at the end of the presentation to grab one and sign off for one. The rest I'll put in mailboxes and a sign up acknowledgement sheet for it, excuse me. And that's just something to keep in your truck. It's just a guide. It's just some bullet point things, basically at a company level, as far as phone numbers, procedures, and things like that. It's really trimmed down. The old manual is about 80 pages. This is about half the size. So that'll be at the end. Again, if road drivers want to come up at the end and grab one, that would be great. And then Michelle's gonna finish off the presentation with some updates on insurance. She again has been getting some of the same questions, and she wants to refresh everybody on some things too, and talk about the vaccine availability a little as well. So I'll try and keep this rolling. I'll do my best. I'm sure nobody will be falling asleep on me. So like I said, and what Ron alluded to, COVID. You know, this little guy happened. It's still happening to us. Threw a big wrench in everybody's lives, financially, personally, professionally. So you guys and gals all need a round of applause, I think, for being here day in, day out, and being in the truck. So thank you very much, everybody. If you guys are moving during this when everybody's scared and was sitting in their homes and not doing anything. You guys were out there, so we all appreciate it. So thank you very much. So obviously with that, we didn't have the fall meeting. So a few things that happened. We still had this though, the President's Safe Driver Club. This is the group that just made it to the banquet that we just had. It's a really neat thing that the Wisconsin Motor Carriers Association puts on. They do a few of these a year. This one was at the Tundra Lodge. And we have 20-some drivers that qualified for it. It is something that the company pays for. You can bring a guest if you qualify. So and they're putting these up at nice places. The Tundra Lodge, the Wilderness, and the Dells. They usually do 2 a year, and I pick one of the locations to go to because they really want it to be a nice experience for the drivers. You guys do a lot day in, day out. And this is really trying to be some recognition for the drivers that, one, have been in a company for a long time, and two, have been safe. So I have got questions on this. Hey, when am I eligible? How can I get on this? Why aren't I on it yet? Well, the parameters are up on the screen. You need to be with the same company for the last 3 years. And the 3-year mark would be at the end of March of that year. So if you have been with Valley Express for 3 years as of March 31st of this year, you'll be eligible to go to the banquet next year if you have a clean driving record. So that's no moving violations, on or off duty. It's in your personal vehicle. The only thing that they get you by on is a parking ticket. So even if the accident isn't your fault, you're still not going to be on this. Okay, so the drivers that have clean motor vehicle records, on or off duty, and with the same company for 3 years are eligible. And I put forth the nominations in the fall, and you guys are paying attention to the slideshow in the drive room. Those are in there every day. You've been seeing those lists go by and keeping that up. So we got a good group, and we got a good group that's been here a long time. So it's nice to see that we have a large number of safe drivers on the road, especially when we have so many Chicago drivers in over the road. Okay, as far as recruiting and referrals, referral bonus is in place. It's been in place. It's good for 10 years. It's $500 a year. The first year we pay it out in increments. You get the money a little quicker. And if you get an application turned in with your name on it, that's $50. If they come on board, it's $100. Okay? And then we'll pay out the first $250 after 90 days, and then the next $250 at a year. And then the next 9 years is going to be 500 years of that. 500 years. It's going to be $500 for the next 9 years, as long as you both are still employed here. And I have a few drivers that really take advantage of this. They have several, 3 or 4, I think. So you guys are really our best recruiters. You're out in the docks every day. We have some dedicated positions that are available. We have over the road in Chicago. We can always add to mechanics. Many of you, if you heard what happened to Dave, Dave's going to be out for an extended period. We're going to be shorthanded in the shop. We could really use some help in the shop. And our warehousing is growing up. Anybody knows anybody with some billing admin experience and can run a forklift, that's a new opening too. So keep your ears open for anybody that might be looking. Please talk to me, let me know, and make sure you get your name on the application, okay? Again, you guys are out there day in, day out. You can tell these potential hires what it's like to work and why you're here. So again, I appreciate everybody's help on helping us out there. It's tough with COVID. You know, with all the government help, people don't want to go back to work. They want to sit on the unemployment. So it's been tough. Hiring has slowed down late fall, winter, and into the spring. So again, any help you guys can give, I appreciate it. Okay, like I said, the hours of service updates, there were quite a few that went into place in September of 2020, so I just want to go over it with everybody. And if you have questions on any of this, well, I'm talking about, just throw up a hand, okay? So let's hit some of the rules. So the 70 hours and 8-day rule. We run every day of the week, so we do fall under the 70 and 8 days. There's been no change to that. And just keep in mind, for those of you that work weekends or over the road, your 70 hours, if you go off duty, those off duty hours are not adding up to the 70, okay? The 34-hour restart, a few years back, you had to take that. Did it have 2 periods between 1 and 5 a.m.? That's out the window. You just need a 34-hour period and you get a fresh 70. Okay, that's pretty clean. Just make sure you're off duty. If you're done for the weekend, log out of the truck, okay? That can also help make sure if the shop second shift or they're working Saturdays, if they're gonna grab your truck, they're not gonna accidentally bump you on the drive line when you guys are on your break, okay? So no change to the 34-hour restart. 10-hour break, no change. You still need 10 hours off and you get a full clock following a full 10-hour break. So what did change? The 30-minute break did change. You can now take that on duty, okay? So that's very helpful. You guys can be in a dock and go on duty and get your 30-minute break in. You don't have to be off duty for that. If you're worried about your 70 hours, then still go off duty. You might as well save that clock. But as far as getting that break, you can be on duty, and you only need to take it if you're going to be doing 8 hours of driving or more. If you're not going to drive 8 hours for the day, you don't need the break. So that's another change. Split sleeper berth, they made that more FMCSA, it's more lenient now. You can do a 7 and 3 hour split as opposed to the 8 and 2. And I'll go over that. And the short haul exemption, CDL drivers now have the same short haul exemption as non-CDL drivers. It increased to 150 miles, and you get your full 14-hour day instead of 12. And adverse driving conditions, we just experienced this with that snowstorm in the middle of the week. If you're held up, you can utilize that and buy yourself 2 additional hours of drive time, so you can extend out the 13 hours of drive time. It does not extend your 14-hour clock, and it has to be unforeseen. Okay, you can't be looking at the radar, see storms coming, and head out and use that. All right. So along with the break, like I said, you can be on duty, so please utilize that. Any 30-minute period. Make sure it's not 29 minutes and 59 seconds, and then drive. I can't help you with that. Okay. We cannot remove any drive time from any logs. All right. So make sure you get the full 30 in. Maybe do 31, and you'll be good. And again, you don't need to use this if you're not going to be driving 8 or more hours in the day. Okay? It used to be 8 hours of on-duty time. Now it's switched over to drive. All right, split sleeper berth. This gets a little hairy for some of you guys. So for the road drivers in the room, previously you could just do 8 and 2 hour split. Now you can extend that. You can go to 7 and 3. You still need a full 10 hours off. And this isn't a typo up there. You see, you need a minimum of 2 hours for that second break. That means you can't do a 9 and a 1. Okay. So if you take 7 hours off, you're going to need the 3 hours off after. Now, how does that benefit you? You can use whatever drive time you didn't use the previous day. So if you drove for 6 hours yesterday and you took a 7-hour break, you could drive for 5 hours and then take 3 hours, and then you get the rest of your clock. Okay, do you guys understand how that works? So again, you can use whatever drive time that you didn't use the previous day. All right, and it still has to be 10 hours. And the good thing about that is if you split log, that 2 or 3 hour break or whatever you take is not going to count towards your 14-hour day. Okay, so that will pause your clock. Any questions on that?
Hey, Sean?
Yeah.
Does that include dedicated drivers and local drivers for a 30-minute break? Do we get breaks? No matter if it's 8 hours or not?
If you're on public roadway, whether you're dedicated or local, and you're going up and down 76 every day, yeah, technically you're supposed to get in a 30-minute break if you're driving 8 hours or more each day. But you don't, so like I said, that can be on duty time. And if you're dedicated or hourly, you're paid by the hour anyway. So, you're not losing any pay from taking that. That's just what you need to do. And with the short haul exemption, for all our local drivers and dedicated drivers in the room. You now can go 150 air miles and be under that exemption, where your trip sheet is your log essentially. And instead of that 12-hour day, you now have the 14-hour day. So you got a full day to use, and your trip sheet is your log. Now technically, there's people not in every truck, so you technically do have an e-log, but if you were pulled into a scale, you could try and give your timesheet and say, here's my log on the short haul. But if they ask to see your e-log because they see the people that you have to show them, okay? And I'm gonna hit that in a little bit as well. Then adverse driving conditions, again, that can add up to 2 hours of drive time for you to extend your drive time from 11 to 13, but it does not extend out your 14-hour day, and it has to be unexpected, okay? It has to be something unforeseen, so you really have to be careful when using that. All right. As far as these government agencies trying to take a look at you, trying to get a piece of our pie with fines and whatnot, they will be hitting the ground hard, especially after a quieter 2020 because of COVID. There are several things going on this spring and summer. The first one is just an awareness week. It's a National Work Zone Awareness Week, and that's actually next week. So there won't be enforcement for that, but just something to be aware of. There's the International Road Check, Operation Safe Driver Week, and then Brake Safety Week. Okay. So with this National Work Zone Awareness Week, everybody knows we got 2 seasons. We're done with the first one, so here comes the second one. So it is starting on Monday here. So just be aware, we do get speeding violations in work zones. We do get those on our CSA. So just have a little more awareness now when you're driving through these work zones. Watch your speed, be careful, watch for the lane closures. If you want to support them on the 20th, wear orange, knock yourself out. And then they just have a few little bullet points. They like, know before you go. So, you know, especially those of you going through Milwaukee, the Zoo interchange, there's a lot going on down there. Know what's going on before you leave out on your trip. Stay alert, be focused. As you'll see later on in the presentation, we have a lot of increase in accidents is going up year over year, and rear end accidents. So that's, you know, speed and just distracted driving. It's getting worse. Not improved even with all this technology we have in the trucks. So always be alert, be focused, and watch the signs and obey the speed limits. Watch for that speed limit drop. You know, fines double in the work zone. So please be aware of that. And then just to demonstrate why they're probably doing this, here's some stats that they put out from 20 to 2019. Again, 2020 would have been a bad stat year because there's so much less traffic. Work zone fatalities increased by 11%. Crashes went up by 13%. Fatal crashes with big trucks went up 16%. Okay, so it is getting worse, so they are trying to bring awareness for these reasons. Like I said, the rear end collisions went up almost 30% from 2018 to 2019. That's hard to believe. That big of a jump on accidents. So everybody needs to please pay attention, watch your speed, and watch out for the other drivers out there. It's not just you. You guys are the professionals. Watch out for everybody else zipping in and out of lanes. Okay? And then crashes where speed's a factor, you know, jumped up by 40%. So I don't know if 2018 was just a really good year or if it was just really getting that bad in 2019. 2020 is not going to be a good year to look at. So in 2022, maybe we'll see how 2021 will. And then the biggest thing that they're probably concerned with, you know, the worker fatalities, you know, up 9%. You know, that's a dangerous job. It's not a job I want to do, be on the side of a highway when everybody's zipping by 170, 75. So keep them in mind. Now the International Road Check. For those of you in the back that maybe can't read this meme, it says, cop pulled me over and said papers, so I said, scissors, I win, and drove. probably not the route you want to go when you get pulled into the scale house. You might get in a little trouble doing that. So the CVSA puts on this road check every year where it's North American, it's Mexico, Canada as well. And that is going to be the May 4th through the 6th. They really hit it on 3 days. Previously, they've done it in June, so they bumped it up so it's not going to be so hot for the troopers. So be ready. We've never really got pegged on this before, so let's keep that streak going. And this year's emphasis is hours of service and lights. Okay? You should be checking your lights every pre-trip anyway, make sure everything is operational. But as you'll see later on our CSA scores, that's not the case. And hours of service, they'll go through a fine-tooth comb, try and get you on anything. Your shipping, make sure your trailer's updated. So they will look to get you. 2020 saw over 50,000 inspections, even with them pulling back a little bit, and they had a 20% out of service rate. 20%. So they are going to be doing full inspections. Please be ready for it. And just to show you the difference, the drop off, 2019 they did 67,000. So you can see the impact COVID had on the number of inspections they did. All right, so that is coming May 4th through the 6th. All right, anybody catch what CVSA stood for? Anybody raise a hand? Anybody read that? Okay. There you go, Jan, I heard you. Jan wins the first cup of the day. There, pays to speak up. You didn't even know you were getting it. Got two more exciting trivia questions for you later. All right, Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance. So this is the organization, the government organization that they oversee our CSA scores and they put on this road check. Okay, so does everybody know how to transmit your logs or to show an officer your logs that they ask you? So from your home page, there's a icon right there, roadside. That little guy. Click that. It's going to show your log. And then there's a button right there that says Data File Transfer. Now this screen will pop up. It says either web service or email. Has anyone had to do this? Has anybody had to transmit logs in this room? I know I have some road drivers that have done it recently.
Did it 2 years ago.
Anybody do it recently that had? Okay, from what I understand, the troopers will have a code to give you to submit the logs. So you get them to this step, they should be able to tell you what to punch in. Okay? Now, if you really got Officer Dick, they might ask you for your instruction guide. Now, in the back of your authority packet, which is the white binder that is in every truck, there's a little quick guide in there on how to operate the people net. But it's also, there's the full guide right here electronically. So you hit your driver icon from the home screen, and then there's the driver user guide right there. And the first time you open that up, you're going to get that screen. If you hit Adobe Acrobat or OneDrive PDF viewer, it's going to want you to change some settings in the tablet. So don't hit those. I just tested this out on Friday. This is your winner right here. Driver PDF viewer, you click this viewer, and it'll open right up to the guide. Okay, and you can page through it. So you know, you got 30 minutes to kill, do some research, have some fun. It's light reading. So that is how to retrieve the guide and to do the roadside inspection. Any questions on that? Is that pretty clear? Okay, so then Operation Safe Driver Week, that's not going to be till July. And speeding is the emphasis. For a cup, can anybody tell me why you think, after the year we just had in 2020, why we might be focusing on speeding?
Every speed went up.
Sure.
Everybody went crazy.
I'll take that, Chuck. Chuck gets a cup. So yes, there were less vehicles on the road in 2020. That meant everybody was speeding more. So metropolitan areas like DC, Boston, Chicago, they saw drops in traffic of 80 to 90% during those shutdown periods, and their citations went up by 20 to 40%. So speeding was a big factor, less cars, and you know, I mean, think about it. I probably was guilty of that too. Less cars on the road, yeah. Go a little faster. So in July, I'll set a reminder when it gets a little closer. There'll probably be a little bit more touchy on the speeding, so keep an eye on that. And then to finish out the summer is the Brake Safety Week. That's the end of August. And just to tell you how many really inspections they do. I mean, in the U.S. alone, they did 35,000 inspections last year. They got a 13% vehicle out of service rate. So they're looking for everything. And the biggest infraction it was the brake hose violations. So what's the difference between an out of service and just a violation? It's if you start fraying that ply. If you get to it, that's still just a violation. But if you start damaging that and then getting past that to the inner rubber layer, these two are going to put you out of service right here. Okay? These top three, you can see the diagrams, are just going to be violations. So something you guys should be watching. For as many trailer moves that we do, you should really be looking at that every single day. Okay? Anybody want to see that up there longer? Are you good? Clear on the... Good. All right, so I got 3 videos to share, and these are our own dash cams. So these are not proud moments, but hopefully they're teachable moments. So please, there's no sound, and with our dash cam videos, when I view them, I can see RPM, speedometer. I can see when you hit the brake, if you have the cruise on, and if you're utilizing the clutch, okay? For sharing purposes, I just did the dash video because it shows a little bit better. So this was how not to go through a roundabout. Alright. Pay attention. Speed. He's fully loaded. See if this roundabout looks familiar to anybody.
Yep.
Newsflash, it's not gonna make it.
I went to sleep.
Speed was a factor. Okay. On that long video clip, actually, he goes through that other roundabout pretty quickly, you know, in Kimberly on CE by the McDonald's. Yeah, driver was okay. This was obviously a fireable offense. No other vehicles involved, but Ron and Alan talked about things are good and profit sharing. This puts a big dent in profit sharing right here. Truck to getting the load unloaded, all the costs involved. We lose a driver. It's a big hit. Okay, so oh fudge. More fudge. This was also not going to end well. If you guys haven't guessed. You can see it's daylight, dry road conditions. Okay, but due to a previous accident, there's a little backup, and this is the driver's on his way back. He's in Fond du Lac. Okay, he's on his way back, finishing up his day. You see skid marks from the accident? Boom, boom, and boom. Scraped one of those Garo tankers, hit 2 SUVs. One went right into the wall. We're looking at a minimum of 1 injury case. Minimum of 1 driver has a lawyer on this. They're not sure if a second one will get one yet. Driver elected retirement. I accepted. And Again, clean, dry conditions. You never know when an accident's coming. I don't know why he was distracted. He didn't give me a reason. He did brake before, so if the dash images were on there, you would see that he applied the brakes, it was just too late. I want to say when he hit the first vehicle, he was going about 15 to 20 miles an hour. So, you guys see those billboards up and down 41. One call, that's all. I was just in Houston last weekend visiting my brother and his family, and on the way back to the airport, I saw a few of those. They're everywhere, in every area, okay? And our insurance carrier is seeing this too. Any accident out there in the roadways, they're lawyering up, okay? So it's not just we're gonna pay for their car and any medical bills. They're gonna go and get another piece of that. Okay, so again, we talk profit sharing, we talk safety, the safety of the other motorists and yourselves and getting home safely. Distracted driving, this is just distracted driving, that's all. This wasn't road conditions. Just traffic was stopped in front of them and wasn't ready for it. There was actually a car on fire previous to this. It was a pretty bad accident. Holy fudge. This was due to weather and road conditions. This is Highway 10 towards heading towards Wapaka. Drivers in the right lane seem to be going at a reasonable speed, but maybe not in those conditions. And I will fast, because this is a long video, I'll fast forward where it really starts. And this, now this windshield isn't necessarily that dirty, that's just where the camera's mounted, by the way. So it's where the windshield wipers aren't hitting. Okay, watch closely. Okay, he's going along in the right lane on 10. Actually doesn't look that bad. He's getting past in the left lane. This was early February, as you can see. And I just keep an eye on what he's already drifted right there. He just misses this car into the ditch. That guy did a you-know-what in his pants. He just missed, I don't know if that was inches or a couple feet, but he just missed ending that guy's life.
The one that was in the ditch already?
The guy, yeah, and if I let this video play a little longer, a service truck pulls up for the guy that's already in the ditch. That guy was sitting in his truck watching this, our jackknife vehicle come right at him. Because he went out and you can see the service truck. He's already on the scene because the other guy called it in for himself. So they both hit the same patch, I suppose. Went in the ditch at the same time. So this was road conditions. Hopefully now we're done with this. We are in April. We just saw what last week happened. This a few days ago what we had with the storm. But these are the more recent ones. Yeah, there you go. Everybody was fine. We didn't hit another vehicle, but you saw he lost control. If he lost control 5 seconds sooner, he would have taken out that car that was going by in the left lane. That same day, I had another vehicle, a driver, on a 2-lane highway. Cars just passed him, and as soon as the second car passed him, he started to lose control. He crossed the center line, and he got it back and he corrected it. He would have head-on smoked these people. So please, put the phone down, be cautious, watch your speed. We might be done with the snow, but we have rain and high winds coming. So please be cautious. Osha's not a small town in Wisconsin. Some of our finest. For my last travel cup, what does OSHA stand for? You guys should know this one. Come on. Come here. There you go. Pete gets our last cup. Trivia's done. You're welcome. All right, OSHA, our friends. Okay. So let's talk about some workplace injuries. This is just industry-wide. What are some of the body parts you think are most commonly injured being a truck driver? Shoulder, back,
Wrist.
ankles, knees, legs, twisting it, potholes, stepping in and out of the truck, right? So yeah. So back's about a third of the injuries. The average truck driver is 55 years old, so that stands to reason. Having a really hard time getting younger people into the profession. And the biggest hurdle is probably you got to be 23 years old in most cases, sometimes 21. They're trying to bring a training program into place where you can get 18-year-olds in a truck. Might not be a good idea, but there are some people working on it trying to get other people involved in the industry. I think we're set up really well. Our road drivers are home every weekend. We have a lot of local Chicago. The home time with this generation is more appealing than anything, I think. So again, you see any younger whippersnappers at the docks, walk over, share a few words with them. As long as the truck, if you see their truck's banged up, just stay away. All right, somebody said shoulder. Yeah, shoulder, 19%. Shoulder injuries. A lot of that, trailer doors. We have one on our books for 2020. Gust of wind and the driver's instinct I'm gonna hold on to it. Okay, now you're gonna go see occupational health for a shoulder injury. It could have been worse. Those can be really bad. Yeah, the wind's blowing, let it go. It's just a door. A lot cheaper to fix that than a shoulder. Then you guys said leg, yeah, 16% of injuries. Leg, think about it, you're climbing in and out of the truck, you're climbing in and out of the trailer, always facing the equipment. And not all lots are perfect. You got gravel lots out there, you got potholes. Watch where you're going. Slip, trips, and falls in the winter is a big one. As you'll see here are our 2020 OSHA. Now this is kind of small, so I'll hit the highlighted areas. These are the injuries we had in 2020. It was actually a better year for days missed than 2019, which is pretty horrible. Yeah, there's my little thing there. So fall on snow and ice, fell out of the back of the trailer while getting down, left ankle sprain from stepping in a pothole, slipped from getting in the truck while raining, and slipped in snow. Those are all slips, trips, and falls. If you just take a little bit more time, watch where you're going. I got that walk like a penguin poster up for the winter. Sounds silly, it is. But you guys got to keep that in mind, okay? There's no reason for us to run or speed walk anywhere. Take your time. Have the right, I shouldn't see anybody in Crocs or flip-flops at the fuel island. Okay, have the proper shoe wear. Yeah, and that's, I left the names off, but we do have mechanics and drivers. No office staff this year in here, but it's not always the case. Craig, I'm looking at you. So you can see we had 13 days away from work. And then there were 12 days of light duty, okay? So overall, not bad. So to summarize, like I just said, we had 12 reportable work injuries. Last year we had 9, or the 2019 we had 9. 5 slips and falls. So that's always our biggest injury, is the slip and fall. We usually have about 3 every winter. 2 for this year, falls on ice. Back pain, the most common injury, we had 2. and 8 of those injuries resulted in time away from the job. So that's those 25 days are days we don't have somebody in a truck running freight, producing revenue. Okay, so that's the impact. And we do, to cut costs on the workers' compensation, you know, there's payment involved with the driver. So that's a cost we're paying you, and we're not getting anything out of it. Okay. So, and we have customers that want to see this stuff. Our major customers want to see this stuff every year. So it's really important to show that we are a good carrier, we're safe, our CSA scores stay low, and we don't have too many work injuries. Okay, yard safety. We've all been there, right? No, hope not. Don't be taking those corners too close. Yard safety, so the pictures show obviously not taking your time in the yard. This is also getting in and out of your vehicle. 3 points of contact. Don't jump down from your truck or the trailer. Be cautious. Try and not have things in your hands as you're getting in your truck. Walk. Have the proper footwear, like I said. And watch your speed. Follow those signs. You know, for orientation, every new driver, I give them the sheet for Neenah Foundry and a sheet for Oshkosh Corporation as reminders. Hey, you're in these customer lots. Follow their rules. Have the safety glasses. Watch the speeds. Follow their signs. Okay. And goal: get out and look. If you're unsure, take the extra 30 seconds out of your busy day and make sure you're good. Make sure you can make it. All right? Make sure you're on the concrete and not the blacktop when you're putting the landing gear down. Don't just, close enough. Okay, as far as yard safety, spoiler, the man lift right here, yeah, it's sticking out a bit, you can see. They probably could have parked it a little farther back, but it doesn't matter, okay? How they parked it, it matters what our driver does. So this is at Greenville, dedicated driver, just gonna swing around the lot. Pretty clear, it's orange, you can see it. Porta potty right next to it. And it's tight, so we're good. Clears it, drove right by it. Uh-oh. $3,000. That, $3,000 right there. The damage to that lift. Okay, you got, nobody's gonna help you make it any easier on you guys at these docks. Forklift drivers, their company vehicles, lifts, they're gonna stick them out in places that they don't need to be. But you guys have to be aware of that and know what you can do and what you can't do. If you can make a turn or not. Totally our fault. That's $3,000 right there. Gone. It doesn't take much for those costs to add up. You guys know how much a bumper, headlight, that's why we have the brush guards on the trucks. It doesn't take much to get that cost up. Okay? So CSA scores. After all that fun stuff, let's see how we're actually doing as a company. So there's going to be a lot on these screens, a lot to look at. I'll just point out the major things here because they're just screenshots. So these screens are large, so you should be able to see pretty well. But this is the snapshot through March. And you can see this is through March 26th, so this is current, up to date. Some good stuff here, if you see where the pointer is. Our out of service numbers compared to the national averages. Our vehicle out of service is 12%, national average is 20%. And we just had a driver out of service. It was actually a clerical error. it actually wasn't even the driver's fault, which is unfortunate. There's a clerical error with a citation he paid. But he got put out of service because his license was voided out because of non-payment on a fine. So this isn't a perfect system, but it's what we have. So we got to do the best with it. So the major categories here: unsafe driving carries the most weight with this. Then the crash, hours of service, vehicle maintenance, and so on. So the lower the percentage, the better. Okay, 31 percentile means there's 30% of the trucking companies that are our size in the country have less violations than me, or less severe. Okay, so lower the better. Crash indicator, I'll go through this. This is a goofy one too because of fault. Hours of service. You'll see some of the ticky-tack things that they will get. You think it's not a big deal. I talked about shipment number, the V number, and keeping your trailer number updated. Well, they'll get you on those. Vehicle maintenance is very good, 24%. If Jason were in the room, I could give him a nice high five for that. That's great. 24% is really good. And the things that we get hit on it's all pre-trip stuff. On that no controlled substance thing. So thank you. That's never something you want to ever have in any cases. So let's compare us to last year. Last year we weren't looking so good on the unsafe driving. We had been trending up for a couple months. We see that exclamation mark for 2020. We hit 65%. The other categories, crash is pretty similar. Hours of service was up. Was higher. Vehicle maintenance was at 42, again at 24 right now. So over the last year, over the last 13 months, we've really improved. So I appreciate that. Thank you. That's every one of you. It takes everybody to do that. So great job. Keep these numbers down. Again, it helps with business and keeping our current customers. They look at this stuff every year. They get our CSA scores. And they want to see how we're doing. And if we get too many of these 65s, well, first, we're going to have CSA come in and do an audit on us, which nobody wants. I don't want that. But the customers can start second guessing, well, why are we doing business with you? So we're doing great now. So let's keep that up. But keep in mind, these summer road checks, they're going to be out more. Don't be in that left lane. Watch your speed. Okay, so carrier history. I'll just point out a couple things. There's so much on here. As you can see, this goes back 6 months from October to now. But number of crashes. So what they started doing is taking preventable crashes that I fight, they put it in a separate category. So you see 6 preventable, 2 non-preventable. And then you can see it went up to 7 and 2, then we dropped 1, then we added 2, and then I got one of those moved down to not preventable for March. And another thing, because of COVID, you'll see inspections went down too. Number of inspections in October was 92, and it went down 85 to 87 on average over 2 years. That's how many inspections we've seen over a 2-year period. That's how the CSA measures. Okay, the first 6 months, it's triple the points. 6 months to a year, it's double the points. After a year, that second full year is just single points. Okay, so it is weighted on how much these violations hurt us. So let's take a look at the most important one. The one with the most weight is unsafe driving. This line here, you can see is pretty flat. It actually goes down. That's the trend we want to see. That means we're seeing less violations, less points. We want to see that keep going down. So again, you guys wearing your seatbelt, watching the speed limit, stay out of those left lanes in Chicago and Indiana, and you'll help us with that. What are big time offenders? You can see at the top, down number of violations, speeding 6 to 10, lane restriction 11 to 14, 5, traffic control device 5, seatbelt 4. In 2 years, we've had 4 seatbelt violations. There's no excuse. Bitches. No. Wear your seatbelt. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of orange ones. I don't know. I'll have Jason sell a whole bunch of orange seatbelts. 4 in 2 years. That's really unacceptable. That's bothersome. You guys gotta be wearing those seatbelts. If you're involved in an accident or you need to swerve on the road, you need to be in control of your vehicle. And wearing your seatbelt will keep you in control and not into the passenger seat. Okay? Please wear your seatbelts. So we got some names on here. These are individuals that have actual violations, and these are our most recent ones. So timing is everything. Look, speeding, 15. Speeding 6 to 10. Speeding. We have traffic control device 2. And this one was the accident, failure to use caution, hazardous condition. That was because of an accident. But I highlighted all the speeding. Those are really easy fixes. Okay, really easy fixes. Of course, this impacts everybody's safety bonus. You get some CSA points. Your safety portion of your bonus is going to be almost knocked down to nothing. So please do it for safety. You also help yourself out. You don't get any of these violations, you bring home a little bit more money every year. Okay, the crash indicator. Again, staying pretty flat. This is month to month. Not too bad. We have about 10 crashes on our record right now. 7 preventable, 3 non-preventable. So we're okay there. I would like, that number can bounce around. I think 2 months ago we were at like 12%. It bounces up and down. 34% is okay. I like to see it lower. Here's 3 of the crashes that I had to. If you don't do anything, they'll keep these as preventable crashes, and we'd have 10. But I have to go into a system and give them some facts, the accident report, and get these knocked off. So we've done that with 3. I actually have 1 more that I got the letter saying it was approved, that they're going to knock it off, and just didn't show yet. So on our 7 crashes we have here that are still current, this one for Craig, he was rear-ended on the highway. This one's going to get knocked off. This was our rollover. This was the crash at 41 in Fond du Lac. This was the really bad one I showed last spring, where the truck looked like the guy should have been dead. No fatalities, thankfully. And then this one was reviewed, but it was inconclusive. So that's why that one's in yellow, but it's still there. So at least they made the step where if we're in a crash and we're rear-ended or at a stoplight and somebody hits us, we can get that removed, which is helpful. I know I have a dedicated driver in the room that's been a part of at least 2 of those, or just doing nothing wrong at all. He's been in 2 accidents. It's actually taken him off the Safe Driver Award, and it was really no fault of his own. So there's a look at the crashes. Hours of service. In 2019, they were hitting us pretty good with, they were out there looking at ELDs. And so they were really looking at some minor infractions, what I would call minor infractions. So we've been getting that number down through 2020 and into this year. But I mean, so this is why we have certified logs as part of your bonus too, the highlighted one. They're going to look and make sure you're certifying your logs each day. If they want to look at your last 7 days of logs and they don't see any of them certified, you're going to get written up. There's going to be a CSA violation, and it's going to hit the company on our CSA score. Okay. You know, the ELDs made it a lot easier for you guys. You can't get that form and manner. That's kind of hard to get hit on that. but you have to update your V numbers. And you don't need to leave all of them in. You can delete out the old ones. So every time you have a new V number, you should go into the shipment part and put in your new V number. When you switch trailers, update your trailer. Don't leave all the trailers in. They have multiple slots for trailers. That's for doubles and triples, not to just keep how many trailers you had for the day or the week. So keep updating that, clean it out, have an updated V number because they're going to check. Remember, hours of service is part of the blitz that's coming in May. So they're going to go through everything. All right? So just be ready for it.
Would that be okay on paper logs for dedicated, or do you have to put them in the computer?
Okay, so, like I said earlier, here's the tricky thing with the local and the dedicated drivers. Yes, your timesheet is your log by definition. However, if you have an ELD in your truck, that trumps that. They will likely ask for your ELD. Now you can try and just show them your timesheet and say, I'm a local driver, short haul. Here you go. But if they see the people net, well, do you have logs on that? They're going to want to see. So be prepared. Even the local and the dedicated drivers, unless you're a shuttler and you're not leaving a lot, I mean, you got to be ready for it. So you guys need to be certifying your logs, and you're not. Many of you get dinged on the bonus because you're not certifying your logs. So that's why that's part of the bonus, to try and incentivize you to look at that. If you're having a problem with your people net device in your truck, you can do it on your phone. You can log into the PeopleNet Fleet Manager on your phone. You can do it at the computer in the driver room. You can do it at home. It's really simple. It's actually easier to update your logs on a computer or your phone because you don't need to put in your password for every change. In your truck, you have to put in your password every single time. Every certified log, you have to put in your password. Once you log into the Fleet Manager for the drivers, you're in. You don't need. You just click the button. Certify next day. Certify next day. Certify next day. It's a lot easier. So keep that in mind, and it's something you can do right on your smartphone too. I have the instructions in the drive room. If you want to ask me about it, that's great. I'm happy to walk you through it too. I've walked a number of drivers through that system. It's easy to figure out. Okay, so vehicle maintenance, again, this is where the shop should be proud of themselves, should be happy. We're seeing a dip down with those numbers, which is good. So there's always complaints with me, with dispatch, with the shop. They're doing a good job. They are short-staffed. They're doing the best they can. And this is showing out that they're not putting garbage out on the road, okay? Because if we were, it'd be showing in our numbers. Okay, so if you guys can read the highlighted ones on here, I mean, it's all lights. I mean, turn signal. Now we got a mud flap. This was the rollover, the roundabout, out of service. That gets put on maintenance. I don't know what maintenance had to do with that rollover, but that gets an out of service on maintenance. Brake lamps, required lamp, turn signal, and hazard warning lamp. That's all pre-trip stuff. You're just all walking around your truck, your trailer. Yes, I know some went out in the middle. Well, I hit a bump, I lose pigtail connection. I don't know. I've heard those excuses, but walk around your truck and trailer. And I know that not everybody is opening up that back trailer door and making sure you have the right load or that it's secure. Because we get plenty of reports of you guys just hooking to the trailer and heading out. Do your pre-trip, do your walk around. Again, lights are an emphasis for the road check in May, okay? Again, all those things are all real simple fixes in the shop. Get a new bulb. But instead, it's going on our CSA, and it's holding you guys up because you got to wait for that paperwork too. All right, we're moving along pretty good. Everybody is probably excited about that. Get to the food a little earlier. So we're gonna go through some housekeeping items, some things that we basically cover, we have to cover every single year. Up that, sorry. So we're gonna talk about dropping trailers, securing loads, sweeping out trailers, what we have going on at the fuel island and the 5th trailer bay, and then a little social media stuff as well before we get to the insurance with Michelle. Okay, so drop-in trailers. Again, those of you that have been to these before, that were here last spring, the spring before that, we go over the same things here at the end. It's take the time to drop the trailer properly on the concrete pad. Never drop a trailer on the blacktop. I don't care if you see 3 trailers next to you on the blacktop, it's not okay. And then I would, ask that maybe you move those trailers for us. It's not okay. And it helps if you report those trailers, because those are habits that we want to kill. Okay, it's just damaging our property, and it can sink, and then we have to take the shop out from their busy day to try and help out the driver, because we have a sunk trailer in there. So take an extra few seconds when you're dropping a trailer and make sure it's dropped properly. And that goes for the tandems as well. We say more customers than not want your tandem slid all the way back when you bump a dock. Was that accurate? Would you say most customers want your tandems all the way back? Okay. All right, so I get that you need to slide your tandems all the way back to drop a trailer. You need to slide them back to where they should be before you leave. Shouldn't be going down the road. The farthest back the tandem should be is the 48-foot mark. And an easy way to tell where that is really is the hook on the trailer where the chain hooks go on the back of the trailer. Where that hook is, that's about 48 feet. So you shouldn't have those tandems any farther than that when you're going up and down the road. And you should never be dropping trailers at our yard with the tandems all the way back when it happens. So you need to take the time before you leave the customer lot, slide your tandems back to where they should be. The bridge law, yeah. So you shouldn't be doing it. You can't be doing it. We still say, here's just an example of the blacktop. A loaded trailer on the blacktop. The concrete pad's right there. It's just right there. Just get back in your truck and move the trailer. It doesn't take much. The blacktop's not free. So please take the time, be courteous. Speaking of being courteous, how many of you guys have, had a few choice words to say after you've opened up an empty trailer and you saw it full of scrap? Just all crap all over the floor. And now you have to sweep it out. Don't leave it for the next guy. Okay? Think about the next driver that's going to have that trailer. Take the time out and sweep it out. We have brooms. Look at that. So I know many of you keep brooms yourself and even leaf blowers, which is great. Blow it all into the corner of the trailer and then sweep it out with a dustpan. But we do have brooms. If anybody really you want a company broom, that's back in the dispatch area. Just come see somebody. We'll help you out. If it's going to help you sweep out a trailer, sure. We'll get you a broom, okay? So that's what I'm talking about. We haul, you guys know what we haul. So much scrap and whatnot. And we also need food grade trailers. You shouldn't be leaving this for the next guy, okay? I know we're all busy, we put in long days. Last thing you want to do is sweep out a trailer after you had a long day and you just want to go home, but please, you gotta do it, okay? Now I drew that pretty yellow line, a highlighter, so that is not secured. Well, that's how it should look. I mean, where do you think those rolls are going? This picture's a couple of years old, but it's a good illustration. I mean, the driver that was going to deliver this just hooked and went. I mean, can go all over the place. So any one bad turn or one roundabout, and we got some issues. So as long as it's not sealed, you guys should be going and checking those trailers every single time and making sure you can secure it the best you can. Okay? If you have concerns about a load that you can't get in and secure, take pictures and talk to dispatch. They'll happily talk to you about it and give you some guidance on what you should do. Okay? So always checking the trailer. We've had multiple cases with drivers in state and out of state have grabbed the wrong trailer. It's supposed to be loaded and it's empty. And they take it to a customer and bump it down. How does that happen? Okay. There's no excuse for that. Okay. I don't care what trailer number's in the system. You don't go off that. You check the trailer. You make sure it's accurate. Okay. And then don't leave straps hanging in the trailers. I know this happens a lot too. Take the straps out. Put them in your truck until you get back to the yard, and then put them in the cabinet that we have. Okay, we have room for the flatbed and the dry van straps. Please return straps. You know, everybody's switching trailers. Local drivers are delivering Chicago loads or road loads or other people's loads. Straps are always swapping hands. Try and keep 3 to 4 with you in the truck. And when you have extra, return them, please. Okay, don't be hoarders. No hoarders. Okay, then our beautiful fuel island. One of our Chicago trucks, really nice. Those that were here before 2019, this nice improvement, huh? Covered, lights. Okay, so those of you that may be newer with the company or maybe just fuel, you don't pay attention to what we have. We do have the washer fluid out there. Okay, you can fill up your washer fluid right at the fuel island. We have a couple squeegee options. If they break or anything, let me know. I have more. I'll just replace them. I'm not checking that daily. And then now you'll see there's 2 ladders out there. The blue stairs. And then the step ladder. The blue stairs is so you can clean your windshield and your windows safely and not stand on the tire. I've seen that too many times too. Gives you a little heart attack. Don't stand on your wheels. Get the stairs out, use that. And then the step ladders to help you get in the trailer and sweep out a trailer. Okay? If you want to utilize that, that's why I have that one there. And there's also there's a broom out there in the fuel island now, right in between the ladders, or the stairs and the ladder. Well, then our 5th bay, you can see in the picture, you see the red and the black hose. So we have coolant and oil available. Okay. Now, if it's a colder day and the door is shut, the service door is open to drivers. Your fingerprint scan should get you in. Okay? If you're having a problem with your fingerprint scan, come see us in the office, and Steph can redo the scan for you. Okay? But the service door will either be unlocked or will open with your finger. Then you can open the overhead door, and you can get oil and coolant. You can use the canisters that are in there. And then what we now have, we have another broom here. You can see it just sticking out there, and the white barrel. That's for cleaning out. That's for sweeping out trailers. When that fills up, somebody in the shop will take it and put it in the dumpster for us. Okay? We're not going to keep this on the fuel island. We'll keep it right here in the last bay. So try and make it easy for you guys to sweep out your trailers. We got the brooms. We have the barrel. And then as far as the coolant. So fun story. I was showing a driver the coolant and the oil, and he needed some oil. I never used the reels before. Neither did this driver. And he said, Sean, I'm having a hard time here. I'm like, okay, I'll take a look. Trying to fill up the jug, and nothing's coming out. What's going on here? Well, did I know there's shutoff valves on it? So every time we're pushing the thing, we're building up pressure. Oh, let's open up the valve. Open up the room pans. Oil up. It's pretty cool. So there are shut-off valves on those. Please be aware, don't try and pump it. If nothing's coming out, stop pumping because you're just building up a lot of pressure. You're not going to have a very fun day. Unless you like having oil all over. So we do have that available. Again, any issues getting in or if you're locked out, just see somebody in the office and Steph can take care of that, okay? I've had this slide for several years now. I'd say Facebook's pretty popular with the truck drivers. Twitter, probably not as much. I don't know about Instagram, TikTok, but I think Facebook is the platform of choice for the truck drivers out there. Many of you probably have an account. There are things you need to be careful on when you can just angrily type something out after a bad experience. Think twice before you do that. So some things are protected when you got some gripes with your company and some things aren't. If it's something that's a concerted activity, like keeping constructive criticism is okay. Okay? Taking a picture of a trailer where somebody wrote, Sean sucks, Sean O sucks, not a good thing to do either. That may or may not have happened. So if it's constructive criticism, that's okay. That's fine. That's protected. You can't get in trouble for that. But like if you have concerns for multiple employees. But what's not protected is just a gripe or malicious act. So-and-so sucks, this company, blah, blah, blah. Those aren't protected actions. And we see these, and if we do, we'll be having a chat, and it won't be a good one. Okay? If you're having that bad of a day or that bad of a time with somebody, we have people in management team that you can speak to about it and clear the air. Okay? Go to Amanda, go to Jason, go to Michelle, go to myself. You can talk to someone. Okay? So please stay off Facebook with the negativity and don't tag customers if they're holding you up.
No, jeez.
That goes right to their wall. Don't do that. That actually happened too. Where, I've been sitting at this place for 3 hours and they tag the company. What do you think? Don't do that. Be smart. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Along with cell phones and everything, motorist complaints. I mean, you guys are under a microscope. That's why the dash cams are so important now. It's to protect us. I use those dash cam videos for teachable moments when I see sudden stops or whatnot. I can say, okay, was our driver distracted? What's going on? But it's also to protect us from the people that are swerving in and out of lanes. We actually had in Tennessee a car clip the front of our truck. Hit our brush guard, no damage to us. But having that dash cam helped it. That driver said, oh, your driver swerved in my lane. I had the evidence saying otherwise. That's why we have the dash cams, to protect us. Okay, it's not so we can be more critical of you. So I can call you guys daily and what you doing this? What were you doing? It's for protection. Cell phones are everywhere. I get so many calls. It's not always Valley Express. Good marketing, I guess, when they type in Valley, we're at the top of the list in Google. So sometimes I'll get oddball states complaints that I know we're not in. Oh, your green truck in Alabama? No, it's not us. But the motorist complaints have certainly increased in the last couple of years. Everybody has a phone. Everybody still has road rage. And you do the slightest thing wrong, and they're going to call. Your driver almost killed me. Okay. Let's settle down on what really happened. And I will call the driver with a motorist complaint. And I'll get your side. It's not to attack. It's to get your side. Okay, what happened? Let's hear. And then let's hear both sides of it. So just be aware. There's plenty of that. There's plenty of motorist complaints. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna come go catch up to him again, and I'll give you the truck number. It happens more than you would think, I guess. Okay, we are wrapping up here, so a little ahead of schedule, so that's awesome. I know this has been very exciting. Okay, the driver guides, like I talked about earlier, when we're all done here, some of the road guys, or if you don't get to the office often, if you want to grab one, I got about 25 here, and I got a little acknowledgement form. So after this is all wrapped up, come grab one, sign for it, and keep this in your truck, okay? Again, this is, you're on a break or something, page through it. Covers a variety of topics from triangle placement to tire problems, breakdowns. Okay, company phone numbers are in here. Some resources for PeopleNet. So there's a variety of information. It's all updated. Updated this year. Some more screenshots of tri-pack units. So and using the tandem sliding, the automated trailers on sliding your tandems, the steps that are involved with that, the scales that are on the trailers. There's instructions on how to calibrate those and use that properly if you got heavy loads. That's very useful. Many of our newer trailers have those scales on them. There's our pretty driver guide. Okay, so before Michelle comes up here, anybody have any questions on anything that was covered or anything that wasn't? To go, we have some time. Chuck.
The 2-hour exception for weather, where you drive 2 hours extra if you have bad weather.
Yeah.
Would that also include,
Traffic jams?
yeah.
Yeah, it's adverse driving. I use weather. Weather's kind of the main thing. But yeah, if you're stuck because of an accident, again, it's not extending your day to a 16-hour day, but you get 2 more hours of driving. And that's meant to be to get you to a safe place. It's not, oh, I'm out of that, I'll drive 2 more hours to get farther down the road. It's not, you're not supposed to use it like that. So be careful if you try and use that exception.
And there's really no way to enter that for people that exception.
So there are, in options, on your log screen on the bottom left, there's a button, I think it says options. And then it brings up a black menu screen on the side, and there is an option. There's pre-shift work, post-shift work, and there's take exception. So you would hit take exception, and I have screenshots in the driver room by the computer. Say hit take exception, and then in the middle there'll be another little drop-down window, and you can select. For the Chicago driver, a 16-hour rule, or it would be the adverse driving conditions would be 2 examples. It's in the rate. PeopleNet should have had that in since October. So if your device is updated in the last 6 months, it should be in. Okay. So again, those are just like the personal conveyance. I have that turn on for road drivers, but you gotta be careful when you're using it. Now you can, from a customer to if you're over 14, and you need to leave the customer, that's what personal conveyance is for. If there's no overnight parking, you can go on off-duty personal conveyance, and you can take your truck and trailer to the nearest truck stop. Okay, so you can utilize that. Is perfectly fine. You can utilize it in that way. They made some changes to that a couple years ago in 2019. Any other questions with split log or any of the hours of service changes? Anything that clear? Carlo?
I just have a question, let's just say you were at a customer and you were down to your 13th hour and then you left the customer and you're trying to find a truck stop.
Yeah.
And it just can happen. We all been there.
Yeah. command, you could switch yourself to personal commands off duty, and that would apply, because you're just looking for, you're not trying to advance your load, you're not trying to get farther down the road, you're just trying to find a place to park and take your break. So you can go off duty PC for that. That is perfectly fine. Yeah, because if you don't, you'll go over your 14 and that'll show up as a violation on your log. So before you get to that 14-hour mark, make sure you do switch yourself to off-duty PC. And it doesn't have to be at 14 hours. You can go off-duty PC and set a time on your clock if that's what you're doing. I have to leave the customer and go find a truck stop, go off-duty PC and drive to a truck stop. Just, you gotta go to the nearest one that has availability. Can't go 30 miles down the road and pass by. Yeah. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention on the fueling when we had the fuel island up. That picture was taken of a Chicago driver, and that was about mid-afternoon, about the lunch hour. That's when our Chicago drivers are fueling up every day. They put on a lot of miles, they're fueling every day, they're fueling up in the middle of the day. It does not make sense for them to fuel when they start their day, even though nobody's around at midnight or 2 a.m., because then their clock is starting. So it makes sense for a Chicago driver to fuel at the end of their day, so if they use their full clock, they can technically go over 14 hours as long as they don't go on the drive line. So that's why Chicago drivers are fueling when they get back. I need local drivers to fuel in the morning. Okay? Do not fuel when you're done with your day. We don't want to clog up the fuel island. We have 2 lanes now, which is nice, and it moves pretty fast with the satellite pump. But please, local and dedicated, when you need fuel, fuel in the morning. Chicago's fueling when they get back for the day. Okay? So please keep that in mind. That'll keep things less congested and everybody, getting home sooner. Right? Nobody wants to sit and wait in line for the fuel. Okay. Anything else before we get to Michelle?
I had a situation where my driving time was disappearing, and I pulled up to the fuel aisle and get some fuel to go out my next trip. But then there's a day cab driver sitting there. No hoses hooked up. He's not doing anything. He's sitting in the fuel island, and he's talking to another driver on the other side. So I went inside the building, delivered what I had to do, and I come out, and he's still standing there talking and doing nothing. I ain't up that fuel island.
That's why I bring it up, right? So we want to be courteous to the fellow driver. No bleeding the clock either, local drivers. Yeah, just be courteous. Don't sit there. I mean, it could be dead. It could be the only truck when you pull up. Maybe you got some time. You'll go in the driver room. But 3 or 4 trucks that come right behind you, you don't know what's going to happen. So just be courteous. So that's what we're talking about. The local drivers try and fuel in the morning. Chicago Road's going to fuel whenever they get back. So just try and be courteous to the fellow driver. Anything else? Good. All right, Michelle. All you.
I'm going to keep this short, but first of all, I'm going to address vacation. I know with COVID, we had a lot of vacations being canceled. We're trying to accommodate the best, but the rule is, if you don't use it, you lose it. It is based on your anniversary date, not calendar year. That has also been brought up. So I just want to remind you, I've implemented, and I don't know if it's going to stay in place because I am having a lot of issues with Stephanie and myself are being bogged down trying to track all the vacation. Our system does not track that way. So if I have to extend something, that means myself or Stephanie have to track it. So it's not good. So I'm telling you, please use it or you're going to lose it in the future. I have made some accommodations with a 30-day window for people due to COVID, but I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to extend that. So please, please use your vacation, and that includes for everyone. All right? I just wanted to bring that up. Also, paperwork. I want to remind people, staples need to be removed. I have billing is coming to me quite frequently now regarding pages being missed in bills. So please look at your bills. If you have 2 or 3 pages to a bill, all pages need to be turned in. Because if only the first page gets turned in, we might not recover it and we lose that money. So please make sure you have all pages to the bill. All right? Also, scale tickets. We are seeing a lot of scale tickets without V numbers. When someone hands in 3 scale tickets, we then have to go and look, what does that scale ticket go to? And we have to spend lots of time searching in PeopleNet and in TruckMate, figuring out where it goes. Just please help Stephanie and myself out and put a V number on it for us. We're going to talk about vaccine here. I'm getting a lot of questions regarding the vaccine as well. This is 100% optional to you guys. It's up to you if you choose to go get it, but it is available everywhere. If you need help getting online or anything like that, please come see me. But all the clinics that I have listed here, I mean, basically, you can pretty much walk in. Winnebago County just had a walk-in clinic on Wednesday. So it's very easy to get now. So if you have questions, please come see me. The next thing I'm dealing with is a lot of questions on the health insurance. A lot of people didn't read that packet that was given to them in September, every renewal. Please remember to read through your packets. Our deductible changed dramatically from last time. So it went from a single carrier used to pay $500 to $27 or $28.50. So you have to pay the first $28.50 before the HRA will kick in. In the past, it was $500. It is a huge difference. I'm getting a lot of people bringing me their bills saying, why hasn't the HRA kicked in? Because you have to hit the first $28.50 before that HRA will kick in. So that means for a family, it went from $1,000 to $5,700, or employee spouse, employee child. So you are going to pay that upfront cost first before that HRA kicks in. I'm also getting a lot of, hey, I went to the dental today and my card doesn't work. It's MetLife, right? No. Everything was switched over to United Health Care. So if you vision, dental, short-term, health, it's all under United Health now. So if you have questions or you need a card, please let me know. I can generate the insurance, the medical side. I cannot generate the dental side, but I can put a request in. If you need a vision card, you can do it yourself and print it yourself. I've created multiple accounts for people. It's very easy, and you can print one right offline. So I'm keeping it very short for you guys because I'm trying to keep it. But if you have any questions, does anyone have questions? All right. If not, come see me if you do. All right? I'm done.
Thanks, Michelle. And I'm ready to wrap up. Ron wants to say something quick? Or?
Are you wrapping up?
I just got, I'll hand out the cups to the trivia winners. Whoop, whoop. Road drivers want to see me before you eat quick to get your driver manual. You can wait. I'll put it in your mailboxes otherwise. I just figure it might be easier for the guys and gals that don't make it to the yard every day. I can hand a few out. And everybody, thanks for coming. It looks like they're getting the food.
Yeah, get the food ready early because you guys have been tremendous here. The 6 foot apart thing is really working.
I know.
It cuts down the chatter.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck, it's been quiet here, right?
I mean, yeah. Next thing we'll put a little wall around.
I'm not used to this.
No, I heard Sean say something earlier. I want to address it a little bit. He talked about how injuries and accidents and how it ties right back to this being safe and also it ties back to our wallets. I mean that's the other thing. I mean, if you don't think it's important for everybody to be safe and be healthy and all the other stuff that maybe it'll ring through to say that if you want to take care of your pocketbook. Because really, the reality is last year is COVID hurt and other factors hurt, but the biggest factors last year were accidents and injuries and health. Those are the things that got us, that's what got us to really not be able to do profit sharing last year. And so far this year, knock on whatever, all that stuff has gotten better. So that, I mean, if you can't do it for yourselves, do it for your pocketbook. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Because that's really the reality. This stuff, we talk about it, we want everybody to be safe, we want